Everyone shopping for a used EV ends up looking at the same handful of cars. The Tesla Model 3, the Chevy Bolt, the usual suspects. But there are some genuinely incredible used electric vehicles out there that almost nobody is talking about. Cars that originally sold for $70,000 and $80,000 now sitting in the used market at prices that will surprise you. Today on Nick's Car Review, I am breaking down the best used EVs nobody is talking about across 4 different price points: $25,000, $30,000, $35,000, and $40,000. These are the underrated picks that smart buyers should have on their radar right now. Let's get into it. Let's start at the $25,000 mark with a car that is one of the most underrated used EVs on the entire market, the Hyundai Ioniq 6. Now, the styling is polarizing. Some people say it looks like a melted Porsche Taycan. But look past those unusual proportions, and what you find underneath is one of the most impressive electric powertrains you can get at this price. The Ioniq 6 has a drag coefficient of just 0.21, making it more aerodynamic than the Tesla Model 3. Underneath sits a 77.4 kilowatt-hour battery operating at 800 volts. That means a peak charge rate of 240 kilowatts with a remarkably flat charging curve. Hyundai says it can go from 10 to 80% in just 18 minutes. And in terms of range, even an SEL with the larger 20-inch wheels delivers a healthy EPA range of 305 miles in rear-wheel drive. The interior is where the Ioniq 6 surprises people. The back seats are massive, tons of legroom, knee room, and a completely flat floor area. The seating position is natural and comfortable, unlike the Model 3 where you feel like you are squatting down low. Up front, you sit higher than a traditional sedan, almost like a crossover. The SEL trim comes with a power driver seat, heated front seats, a wireless phone charger, ambient lighting, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Driver assistance includes lane centering and adaptive cruise control that lets you take your hands off the wheel for around 30 seconds on the highway. On warranty, the Ioniq 6 is class-leading a 5-year, 60,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, plus a 10-year, 100,000-mile transferable EV system warranty covering the drive unit and battery pack. And here is the best part. The pricing is genuinely remarkable. You can find nice used examples for under $25,000 right now. A 2-year-old SEL with around 15,000 miles that originally stickered for $47,000 can be had for under 25 grand. For a long-range, ultra-fast charging, comfortable electric sedan, the used Ioniq 6 is one of the best kept secrets in the entire EV market. Stepping up to the $30,000 mark unlocks a lot of new options, but one stands out above the rest: the Audi e-tron. Now, you can find e-trons for a lot less than $30,000. It is pretty easy to find 2019 models for under $20,000. But the mid to upper $20,000 range is the real sweet spot, because that gets you a 2022 or newer example with low miles. And for that money, you are getting a luxury SUV that originally stickered for nearly $80,000 when it was new. The driving experience in the e-tron is one of the best of any luxury EV on the market, and it should be, because of what is underneath. The Premium Plus trim came with a 95 kilowatt-hour battery that charges from 10 to 80% in around 30 minutes. Standard air suspension and a dual motor setup producing 402 horsepower. The e-tron is tow rated at 8,000 pounds and offers up to 8.8 inches of ground clearance. There is one real downside worth knowing about efficiency. The e-tron is simply not very efficient, returning around 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour, which delivers a somewhat low EPA range of 222 miles. But the car charges quickly, and the design is elegant. It looks like a classic premium SUV rather than an aerodynamic egg. Inside, the cabin is beautifully appointed with standard leather seats, a panoramic glass roof, rear climate controls, and 3 screens up front. The center screens are pressure sensitive and haptic, and you get wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a built-in EV route planner. The Premium Plus trim adds a Bang & Olufsen sound system, ventilated and heated front seats, and heated rear seats. One thing to be aware of on dependability: the e-tron has had an issue with drive unit failures, where a seal around the electric motor allows coolant to seep in and damage the sensors. The good news is Audi is extending the powertrain warranty on affected older units up to 10 years or 120,000 miles. Still, because this is an expensive luxury car with pricey components like air suspension, it may make sense to buy an extended warranty for peace of mind. But if you want a genuine, high-end luxury EV experience without paying a high-end price, the used Audi e-tron is hard to beat. At the $35,000 mark, there are plenty of cool EVs. You could get a Kia EV6 GT or a Mercedes EQS if you are lucky. But one stands out simply because of how much vehicle you get for the money: the Ford F-150 Lightning XLT standard range. The Lightning is a fascinating choice because it combines genuine pickup truck capability with efficiency that is not too far behind the Audi e-tron we just covered. The standard range Lightning has 2 electric motors, producing a combined 452 horsepower and 775 pound-feet of torque. As standard, you get 5,000 pounds of towing capacity, and with the tow package, that jumps to 7,700 pounds. It comes standard with 8 120-volt power outlets, 8.4 inches of ground clearance, and a power-operated front trunk with around 14 cubic feet of cargo space. Opt for the Pro Power package, and you get a 240-volt outlet that pushes 9.6 kilowatts, enough to charge another EV or power your entire house. The interior is spacious, if a little utilitarian, with gray cloth seats on this trim. But pull up the bottom seat cushion in the second row, and you unlock a totally flat floor area with enough room to fit a mountain bike. The infotainment features wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with EV route planning. One thing to note, the XLT only comes with basic safety features like lane departure warning and automatic emergency braking. For adaptive cruise control and lane centering, you need to look for the Co-Pilot 360 package. The Lightning also has a shorter 3-year, 36,000 mile basic warranty, though the battery is covered for 8 years or 100,000 miles. And the kicker, you can get used Lightnings like this for around the same price as a brand new Ford Maverick with a few options. That is a lot of truck for the money. And now we reach the $40,000 mark with what might be the coolest EV on this entire list: the Lucid Air. And here is the wild part. 2023 Lucid Air Pure models now easily fall into this upper $30,000 price range. For a car that competes with the finest luxury sedans on the planet, that is an incredible value on the used market. Let's start with the numbers, because they are genuinely stunning. The 2023 Lucid Air Pure delivers an EPA range of 410 miles from a dual motor setup, pushing 480 horsepower. It accelerates from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. And the on-road driving dynamics match that straight line performance. Lucid absolutely nailed the steering and handling feel. This is one of the most engaging EVs to drive at any price, second only to the Porsche Taycan in terms of raw driving dynamics. The Lucid Air has a drag coefficient of 0.197, making it the most aerodynamic production car ever sold in the United States. And the best part is that the aerodynamics did not come at the cost of cargo space. You actually get double the cargo volume of a Mercedes S-Class, plus a massive 10 cubic foot front trunk. Inside, the 2023 Air Pure is exceptional. Soft touch materials all throughout the cabin, including felt lining inside the door cards, tons of knee room and leg room, with a seating position even better than the Ioniq 6. The 2023 model year specifically is a little nicer than the newer Air Pures because it came with some improved materials and features: a micro suede headliner, heated rear seats, and a rear center display for climate controls. Up front, you get a beautiful wraparound display paired with a center screen that can disappear, power adjustable heated front seats, a heated steering wheel, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and a built-in EV route planner. On safety, the Air Pure comes with adaptive cruise control and blind spot monitoring. There is a very small chance you might find one equipped with Dream Drive Pro for hands-free highway driving, but that configuration is rare. The warranty is a 4-year, 50,000 mile basic warranty paired with an 8-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. For the most engaging EV to drive under $40,000, with over 400 miles of range and driving dynamics that will impress any car enthusiast. The used Lucid Air is in a class of its own. So let's bring it all together. 4 totally different used EVs across 4 price points, all of them underrated, all of them worth a serious look. If you have a budget of $25,000 and you want a long-range sedan, the Hyundai Ioniq 6 is a fantastic choice. 305 miles of range, a 10 to 80% charge in under 20 minutes, a class-leading warranty, and a spacious, comfortable interior, all for the price of a basic commuter car. With $30,000, you can get into a very nice used Audi e-tron. Look for the Premium Plus trim or higher to get the ventilated seats and Bang & Olufsen sound system. The e-tron looks and feels like a genuine high-end luxury EV, but you are not paying a high-end price on the used market. At $35,000, the Ford F-150 Lightning gives you a tremendous amount of truck for the money. It accelerates to 60 in under 5 seconds, tows a boat, powers your house, and costs about the same as a new Maverick with options. That is remarkable value for a full-size electric pickup. And at $40,000, the Lucid Air is the most engaging EV to drive in this entire group. Over 400 miles of range, the most aerodynamic production car ever sold in America, and driving dynamics that genuinely impress. For a car that originally competed with 6-figure luxury sedans, finding one under $40,000 is a steal. The takeaway here is simple. While everyone else is fighting over the same handful of mainstream used EVs, these underrated picks are sitting there offering incredible value to buyers willing to look beyond the obvious choices. Do your homework, check the warranty status, and you could drive home in a luxury or high-performance EV for a fraction of what it costs new. One last tip before you go. Whatever EV you end up with, try not to charge past 80% for daily driving unless you have an LFP battery. And even then, avoid leaving it sitting at 100% for long periods. Charge to full right before you drive, and your battery will thank you down the road. I am Nick, this has been Nick's Car Review, and I will see you in the next one.